Hi, welcome to Bandy's Bin if this is one of the first videos you're watching. I honestly don't really know exactly what I'll be posting here, but like I said on the main channel, it's just gonna be things for you to just listen to, and something I've done recently is I have completely reorganized my entire gaming room setup. I used to kind of have everything split up around my house. I like moving stuff around. Frankly, there was really no reason to do this. So I kind of figured, like, you know what the heck? Let's just do a quick tour and just look around and see where everything is. I have gotten a bunch of new stuff since the last time I did one of these, so like, what the hell, let's do it. So I have, my computer over there, some workout equipment, which actually I've been going to the gym a lot more, so I'm barely even using the home stuff. Then the games are literally just right here. And I know what you're thinking. Why not have your computer behind the games? I kind of just like the more casual look. So like, as you'll see here, my camera, when I'm recording videos typically, the backdrop is literally just like some random workout equipment. I kind of like that look a little bit more than just like a bajillion games, because so many people that make gaming videos already just have all their games behind them. So I wanted to do something a little bit different, I guess. Anyway, that has nothing to do with gaming. So I now have all of my games as well as backup consoles on these 3 shelves. Something that you might notice right away is that the N64 games, as well as the GameCube games, it is a lot smaller, and that is because I actually sold a lot of them. I'm sure some of you know who Phoenix Resale is. I've always been really intrigued by the guy, and I was like, you know what? Maybe he'll buy my stuff in bulk for a decent price, and he actually did. He made a whole video about it on his channel if you're curious, but the reason that I did it was because I realized there's a bunch of those games I will just never play, and I didn't care about. I didn't really feel like selling them on my own. That would take up way too much time. It's been done. Let's go ahead and check out some games in more detail. What I basically have here is every single game that I've actually ever wanted. Now this has taken a very, very long time to do. I'm pretty much done retro game collecting. Like, there really isn't anything else that I'm like really desiring to collect. There's very, very little here. I'll just like, highlight a couple of these that are kind of interesting. I've always liked this game, 3D World Runner. I think this is a very interesting game. You're basically just a little dude, you're running in 3D. It's fun for like 10 minutes, but you know what? It's a pretty solid 10 minutes. Battletoads, I am kind of nostalgic for Battletoads. This is a really cool one just because of how difficult it is, and honestly how great the music is in the game too. The pause music in particular is super catchy. Then we have, all the Castlevania games, a little bit of Contra, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, just because, why the hell not, right? Oh yeah, so I have also started to look for really weird, obscure Mario games. And I basically have like all of them at this point, and I'm like, you know what? Why not get Mario's Missing and Mario's Time Machine on NES? If you don't know what they are educational games that are really bad, but I've always been super like fascinated by them. Then we've got all of the Mega Man games, Monopoly. You're gonna see Monopoly quite a bit. I have a lot of versions of Monopoly because I am obsessed with that game. Now, Pictionary, this was actually a gift from a friend of mine, and the only reason I own it, or I guess the only reason I've ever brought it up to him and why he got it for me, is because the music slaps in Pictionary. It's super good. Okay, so this is actually kind of silly. So Super Mario Bros. / Duck Hunt, I've owned this for a while, but you know what I never owned until pretty recently? Just regular Super Mario Bros. Like, this version is completely pointless to own, but like, these games don't cost anything, so like, why the hell not, right? Might as well have both of them. Some Yoshi games. Wrecking Crew, I think, is a fairly new one. This is a pretty interesting game, I guess. Technically a Mario game. Is this supposed to be a Mario game? I guess it is. But yeah, that's pretty much it for NES, nothing too crazy. We'll move on to the Super Nintendo stuff. Now, there's actually a lot of core SNES games that I never owned until maybe like a year ago. Like, as an example, F-Zero, I just didn't have it for whatever reason. Oh, this one, I freaking love, Kirby's Dream Land 3. It's a little spendy. It came out really late in the SNES's lifespan, and it is genuinely a great Kirby game. It is super fun. I really like that one a lot. I haven't owned Superstar for very long. This is also a really solid Kirby game, although the DS one is definitely better. Now, the SNES got pretty silly with its Mario educational games. We have Mario's Missing. Well, Mario Paint isn't, but fun with letters, fun with numbers, preschool fun, Mario's Time Machine. Like I said, I just like owning all of these really bizarre Mario games. I think it's just kind of it's just kind of fun. I don't know if I'll ever play them. Maybe I'll play them for a video at some point, but I just think these are really fascinating pieces of history because you just don't see stuff like this from Mario at all nowadays. Ms. Pac-Man. Why do I own Ms. Pac-Man? Well, I was at a friend's house like a year or two ago, and he had the SNES version, and what's really cool, it has the speed-up version. A lot of you might not even know what that is, but basically, if you play Ms. Pac-Man in the arcades, usually it runs pretty slow, but sometimes you'll find machines where the gameplay is like 3 to 4 times faster, and it makes it way more intense and fun. This SNES version has that specifically. So I was like, yeah, you know what? This is actually pretty awesome. I will definitely be playing that at some point. Super Castlevania 4. I think this is somewhat recent, but really, really great game. I love the classic Castlevania titles. And then down here, we actually have something I'm super happy with. Super Mario RPG. Now, I waited a really, really long time to get this, and I'm glad I did because once the Switch version came out, it dropped in price like crazy. It used to be over like $100, now it's like 50 to 60 bucks, which is still kind of a lot for an old game, but like it is dramatically cheaper than it used to be, so I'm really glad I waited on that one. And then like another weird one I just didn't have for some reason is Star Fox. I don't know why I didn't own it, but you know, it's a pretty solid game. I would like to get more into the Star Fox games eventually, so that's why I wanted to get it. And I have a couple more really strange ones. Wordtris. You might be wondering, what the hell is Wordtris? Well, I'll tell you. It's Scrabble and Tetris mixed together. It is incredibly stupid. It is way too difficult for most people. There's clowns in the game. It is just a weird ass game. I kind of love it. And I played this at a friend's house too. I'm like, you know what? This game is actually pretty hilarious and sick, so it's like, why not get it, right? Might as well. And that's about it for SNES. So, you know, it's about as big as the NES, but again, this is like just stuff that I actually care about. So let's move on to Game Boy, and I guess like Game Boy Color at the same time. So, you know, we don't have anything too crazy here. The Donkey Kong Land games that I finally played this year, these are just okay, although I did kind of like 2 and 3. 2 and 3 were all right. 1 was, very, very janky. Mario's Picross. So I will be honest, I basically only got this game just because I love the box art. It's just Mario's face plastered onto it. I've always found it to be very amusing. And then, oh my goodness, would you look at that Monopoly again? Holy crap. Metroid 2, I will definitely be playing this for a video at some point. All the Pokemon games. So I think last time I was recording this kind of video, I was in the process of getting more of these Pokemon titles. I think I had like Red, Blue, Yellow, and then like Gen 2 or something. Now I have all the Pokemon games, which we will get into, and I'm really glad to have these because I still pop these in from time to time. They're super, super nostalgic for me. This is actually the first Nintendo game I ever played. I was like 6 years old, and I remember getting a Game Boy Color for Christmas. I got this game, I got Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, and then Pac-Man Championship Edition, I think was also Game Boy Color. Guess what game I put all my time into? It was this one. Link's Awakening. Now, don't worry, this is the Game Boy version. I do have the deluxe version as well, so you don't have to worry. I know everyone was really concerned about that. Why would you own the not deluxe version? Oh! But I have it, so it's fine. The Game Boy Color version of Donkey Kong Country. So this I brought up, I did a ranked video on this earlier this year. Again, this is the one that I grew up with, so I've always had a weird skewed view of the Donkey Kong franchise because of this game. Kirby Tilt and Tumble, a really strange Kirby game, not very fun to be honest, but hey, it's really cool. It's on Switch Online, you can actually use the motion controls. Then of course we have all of these Pokemon titles, Gold, Silver, Crystal, Pokemon Pinball. You know what, it's actually not that bad. There is an objective to the game to actually catch every Pokemon, and you do so through the pinball machines, and it's got Rumble too. So hey, you know what? More power to, I guess Game Freak. Did Game Freak make this game? I actually don't know. I'm not sure. These games, you know, these are probably my most nostalgic Pokemon games, especially Gold. I put in hundreds and hundreds of hours as a kid into Gold. I still remember the days of having the strategy guide for Gold and Silver, and I was trying to catch the 3 legendary dogs, and it took so goddamn long. Dude, I was so dedicated to getting everything in this game. And then I did not play a lot of Silver as a kid. I played a little bit, but it was mostly Gold. And then Crystal, I have not played this since I was like 9. I really, really want to replay this game at some point, just because I know there are some differences. I know like some gym leaders have different Pokemon and stuff, but yeah, I really got to replay Crystal at some point. And then we've got a couple more Pokemon games. This one I actually also played fairly recently, Pokemon Puzzle Challenge. It is basically paneled upon. However, what's really cool about this game is it has a bunch of different modes. There's like 5 or 6 different modes for this game, and it's a lot of fun. Pokemon trading card game. I will be honest, I have no idea how to play the trading card game, and I was like, you know what? I'm eventually going to do a ranked video on all the Pokemon titles, so I might as well get this. It'll be a great excuse to finally learn how the heck the trading card game works, because I've never really learned a card game like that before. The Oracle games that desperately need remakes, because I don't really like them that much. Actually, Oracle of Seasons, this is the very first Zelda game I ever played. I got it when this was around the same time I got my Game Boy Color, maybe a little later than that. I was like 6 or 7, you know. I didn't have much of an attention span. I did not understand how the hell this game worked. I got lost after like 30 minutes. I'm like, this game sucks. Because I was 7. And then that's about it for, you know, Game Boy Color. Again, nothing too crazy. A lot of just like the basic stuff, but that's all I really want for it. Now for N64, I have talked about this damn console way too much, but I guess I can kind of showcase what I did decide to keep. So of course you have the Banjo games, I actually really like the Asteroids Hyper game. It's pretty basic, but it's fun. Beetle Adventure is a fairly interesting racing game, and then of course, you know, Buck Bumble. Glover, I have a lot of interesting memories with Glover. It's not a great game, but like I said, I kept these games for either memories with them or just like some sort of connection with them. I actually have not played this yet. It is Magical Tetris Challenge. I have an obsession with Tetris like I do with Monopoly, so someday I'm gonna play that. Now, Mega Man 64, I've never actually played this. You know, I love the classic Mega Man games, but I've never tried this one. I think this is also on PlayStation 1 and it's called something else. I don't remember off the top of my head. I would like to try this eventually. Mickey Speedway USA, this is actually really, really fun. It's a lot like Mario Kart 64, you know, as you'd expect, but it just controls really well. The stages are actually pretty good. There's a good roster of characters. It's not gonna blow your socks off, but like, it's genuinely pretty solid. It's not bad at all. And of course, I will say this one is pretty painful to play. It's really not that fun. It's very, very slow. Ms. Pac-Man Maze Madness, dude, I freaking love this game. I love the music in the game. It's super fun. Something else you'll notice is I have a lot of the Namco Nuzam cartridges, which is kind of pointless because I literally have like 20 versions of Pac-Man. I'm very nostalgic for these kinds of games. I used to get these kind of collections a lot as a kid. Like I had a Namco collection for Game Boy Advance, I think one on the DS. I do have fondness for those. Then of course, Paper Mario. Now, Penny Racer. This is, again, a really bad game, but I have a lot of funny moments with this one with a friend of mine. It is a horrible racing game. The Snowboard Kid games are actually really, really fun. Superman. Okay, now Tetris Spear. This is 3D Tetris, and I had no idea how to play this until like 2 or 3 years ago. Actually, my editor had come over. We were looking at my N64 games. He's like, dude, have you ever played this? I'm like, no. He showed me how to play it, and after like 10 minutes, I figured it out, and you know what? It's actually kind of fun. Not as good as regular Tetris, but hey, it's pretty solid. Oh my God, can you believe it? Another Tetris game? Wow. And that's it. You know, it's maybe 30 or so N64 games, nothing too crazy. I did not want 300. Like, this is literally all the ones that I will ever care for. Now we move on to Game Boy Advance. So we have all the Donkey Kong Country games. Frankly, I'm trying to remember on my ranked video if I put these higher or the SNES games higher. I think I put these ones higher because these are actually really fantastic ports. And they also add brand new content. Well, I think DKC 2 and 3 add like new levels. I don't think the first game did. There's a lot of great quality of life features in the Game Boy Advance games, so if you've never tried them, they're totally worth getting. I actually hope they put them on Switch Online so more people can try them out. Then DK King of Swing. This is such a weird game. It's not super great. It's an interesting idea. You use the L and R buttons to swing around. It's fine. It's just fine. Drill Dozer. I've always wanted to play this. I've heard this is really, really fun. Well, no, that's not true. I played like 2 minutes of it on an emulator, but I've never actually played it on the cartridge, which you kind of have to. Okay, now we're getting down to the bottom of my floor. Lizzie McGuire, On the Go. This is a little 2D platformer that takes about 45 minutes to beat. Why do I own it? It's a game that I played when I was like 10 or 11. And yeah, like I said, it's just childhood memories with it. Then we've got a bunch of the Mario stuff, you know, Superstar, Saga, some golf. Mario vs. Donkey Kong. You know, out of all of these, I've never actually played the original one. I tried the Switch one, and honestly, I thought it was kind of boring. I would be curious to try this one. You know, eventually, I will probably play all the Mario vs. Donkey Kong games. Ooh, the Metroid games. These are super cool to finally have. Fusion and Zero Mission. I believe both of these are on Switch Online now, if I'm not mistaken. I've played maybe 5 or 6 hours of Fusion on the Wii U, specifically, the Wii U Virtual Console, and I liked it. I thought it was fun. I just never had a chance to finish it. Monopoly! Woo! And now we've got a bunch of Pokemon titles, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, of course, the Fire Red, Leaf Green games, and then Pinball Ruby and Sapphire. I'm actually very curious to play this after playing Pokemon Pinball on Game Boy Color, because I've heard this is basically the same thing, but a lot bigger. I don't know if you can capture every single Pokemon from Gen 1 through 3 on here, but I really want to try it. I kind of grew out of Pokemon when these games came out. I was way more into like Rock Band and Guitar Hero and stuff. You know, I played these when I was an adult, and I freaking love Emerald. These are fantastic games, so I'm super glad to have all of these games now. And of course, dude, the Sonic Advance trilogy, oh my god. I freaking loved Advance 1. So interestingly, my sibling actually owned Advance 2, so I did not play a lot of Advance 2. Not until I was older. Great game, do not 100% it. I'm telling you, don't do it. If you saw my 2D Sonic Marathon video, you'll know why. And then Advance 3, I always thought this was the best one. I still think it is the, it's probably still the best Sonic Advance game. Like, I know some people don't like it that much, some people prefer 1 or 2, but I've always liked the third one the best, just because of the swapping character mechanic. And then Sonic Battle, okay, so I actually have a story about Sonic Battle. So when I was a kid, I had 400, 500, 600 Pokemon cards. These are all like the original Pokemon cards. You know, my family was having a garage sale, and I was like, okay, so I really want to sell these Pokemon cards because I thought I didn't want them anymore, which I kind of regret because I had a lot of rare stuff. Guess what? I sold my Pokemon cards for $31, yippee yahoo, and I bought this damn game at Target later that day. Sonic freaking Battle. This is it. At the time, it was worth it. I thought it was such a great game, and you know, it's fine nowadays. It's not like an incredible Sonic game. There's a lot of padding in it, especially if you play the single player, but I think the combat's still kind of fun in this game. I actually would love to see Sega revisit this and maybe, I don't know if they should do it in this style again or make it like a 2D fighter only, but like Sonic the Fighter, Sonic Battle, I always thought those were really like kind of like unique Sonic games. It'd be cool to see those again. This is kind of a weird one, right? Super Collapse 2. Why the hell would I own this? Well, I played a lot of Collapse as a kid. I had the first, second, and the third one on PC. When I was kind of like going through like GBA games that I wanted several years ago, I was like, wait a minute, they made Collapse on the Game Boy Advance? There's no way this is fun. So I tried it, and it's actually okay. I think it has all 4 of the modes too, because there's like challenge, reverse, puzzle, and the regular. Actually a decent port of Collapse. It's not as good as PC, but like, you know what? It actually kind of works. Monkey Ball Jr., one of the most technically impressive games of all time, but also not very fun. Oh boy, we're going up. Woo! Okay, and there's honestly not that much left for Game Boy Advance. You know, we've got Minish Cap, Wario Land 4. We basically just have all S-tier games, except Yoshi Topsy Turvy. Yeah, this game kind of sucks, I'm not gonna lie. Topsy Turvy is not very fun at all. But man, Wario Land 4, Minish Cap, WarioWare Twisted, even like Mega Micro Games is pretty solid too. There's a lot of great stuff in here. Actually, I think out of all of these, I might have the most Game Boy Advance, at least from what I've talked about so far. So like I said, I sold off a lot of my GameCube games, but I do still have quite a few of them. There are a bunch of new ones that I did end up getting. So like Animal Crossing, Crash Nitro Kart. Well, this is Tag Team Racing, right? And then Nitro Kart is hiding behind it. I really want to try those. Those seem really fun. Chibi Robo, this also seems like a really cool game. I've just never gotten around to playing it. The Donkey Kong games, Jungle Beat, and then, you know, Conga 2, Conga 1. Those games are also very weird. I like them, they're just really, really strange. And then, yeah, Eternal Darkness. I really want to play this game. I haven't gotten around to playing it, but I think I got this one this year, actually, and I'm definitely gonna try it out at some point. Now, something I've basically always wanted as a kid is to own every single Mario game on the GameCube. I think all of them are fantastic. So, you know, we've got all the Mario parties, Mario Power Tennis, Superstar Baseball, and golf. Well, I've had the golf one for a while, but a lot of these Mario games I just didn't own. For whatever reason, I just never got around to getting them. So I finally have all of them, which is pretty awesome. Prime 2 is also a fairly recent get, although I don't know why I would get it on GameCube when I could just play the better Wii one with the better controls. Look at that, Monopoly Party, baby, that's what I'm talking about. More Namco Museum. I think I had this one as a kid actually, but I did not own the Namco Museum 50th anniversary. What's really cool about this version, well, it's basically the same thing, but it also has Bosconian on it. Yeah, Bosconian's kind of cool. It's actually like my favorite arcade game, so it's not kind of cool, it's really cool. Pac-Man World 3. Okay, here's my best way to make an analogy for this game. This is the Shadow the Hedgehog game of the Pac-Man franchise. For whatever reason, Pac-Man World 3 is extremely dark and edgy, and he also has like electric powers. He can like shoot lightning out of his hands. It is just a weird ass game. I've seen a lot of footage of it, but I've never played it. So at some point I gotta play this weird ass game. I really want to try it out. I also got this one fairly recently, Pokemon Channel. Unfortunately, my disc does not work. So that really sucks because this game's pretty expensive. I've heard this is a really bad Pokemon game, but I have always wanted to try it. 'Cause I'm just like, what does this even mean? Like you just flip through channels and watch TV? What the hell's going on here? And then we have Pokemon Coliseum. I guess another GameCube game I would still want to get is XD Gale of Darkness. That would be kind of cool, although it's a little pricey, but it would be kind of nice to own that one. And then a lot of these I've already had for a while, you know, RE4, all these Sonic games, Monkey Ball, of course. Tetris World, I think is a fairly recent get, because, you know, like I said, I'm obsessed with Tetris. I have actually played this. It's a pretty solid version of Tetris. I have gotten a bunch of the obscure or random Zelda games on the GameCube. So like here we have the promotional disc, the collector's edition. You know, this is actually how I first played Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I emulated the Dolphin version of this game specifically because I thought the games might run better than on N64. So I was like, you know what, why not? They ran pretty good. And then of course we have the Ocarina of Time 2-game bonus disc. I think this was the first time they ever released Master Quest officially, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, there's still like maybe 1 or 2 GameCube games, you know, XD Gale of Darkness. I have also considered getting Pokemon Box, but like, do I really want to spend $2,000 on something that's not even a game? Probably not. If I can get Pokemon Box for a fairly good deal, maybe. I just can't see myself doing that. But you know what? I want that freaking that memory card, the red and blue one. It's so cool. Now we have DS games. I actually have a lot of DS games. Let's see, Animal Crossing Wild World. I don't hear anyone ever talk about this game, ever. It's kind of like the Wii one, City Folk, where it's like no one really remembers that it exists. I would be really curious to try this at some point. Band Hero, you're gonna find that I have a lot of random Rock Band and Guitar Hero stuff. I have literally all of those games and all the weird versions of it. And then the Brain Age games, I actually, the reason I have these, I do have some nostalgic memories for Brain Age 1 and 2. So when I was like 11 or 12 and I got my DS, I remember I went to GameStop to get some game. I don't even know what it was. My dad was with me and he saw Brain Age 1 and he just bought it. And I was like, whoa, hold on, my dad's buying a video game. Next thing I know, every single day, we're both playing Brain Age and we're basically competing to see who can get the best score. It's a really fond memory of mine. Both of us just playing Brain Age every single day. And then eventually we did get Brain Age 2. We weren't as into it. It was also a really good way to play Sudoku. Because, you know, this was before, you know, like modern phones existed when this came out. So it was actually a great way to play Sudoku too. Chibi Robo Park Patrol, I'll eventually play it for a video. Diddy Kong Racing DS, incredibly disappointing, you know, remake of the game. Jungle Climber, honestly, shockingly fun game. It's a lot better than King of Swing. It's pretty much DK King of Swing, but it has every quality of life feature that it needed. It's a great game. Drawn to Life, I also got this one fairly recently. This is a game that I owned as a teenager, well, not a teenager, I was like 11 or 12. I absolutely love this game. I've talked about it a couple of times. I don't know why I waited so long to get the first game again, because I've had the second game and the SpongeBob game for forever. But the first one I very recently got. But yeah, this game is great. You know, you basically you're not building levels, you're building the art in the levels, and you build literally everything. I'm actually surprised this has not gotten any sort of reboot. You know, like I feel like a Drawn to Life 3D or just like some sort of game where you can make more than just pixel art would actually be very big today. Electroplankton. I have no idea what this game is, but I want to play it at some point just because it looks so weird. This one's really funny. Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars, if you've never heard of it. It is one of the few rated M games on the DS. It is top down. I've heard it's actually an okay game, but you know what? Maybe I'll play it before GTA 6 to get myself all prepared, right? That would work perfectly. Guitar Hero stuff. We've got a bunch of the Kirbys here. Okay, here's some Mario games I've actually never played, and these are the Mario vs. Donkey Kong titles, 2, and then Miniland Mayhem. I've heard these are very average mid games, so yeah, I'll definitely be playing them for a video at some point. Also, I just need to do my yearly shout out for Meteos. Play Meteos. Why is no one talking about Meteos? This is one of my favorite games Sakurai ever made. It's so fun. The Metroid catalog on the DS is honestly pretty silly. We got a pinball game, we got Prime Hunters, and then the frickin' demo disc. I kind of forgot this existed until like a year ago. It's like a 2-minute demo, and you just play through like a little tiny stage, and it came, I think, with every single Nintendo DS, or at least like the launch Nintendo DS's. I'm not kidding, I literally played this demo like 100 times as a kid. I thought it was so much fun. I did play Prime Hunters as well when I was like 12 or 13. I'm not gonna lie, the touchscreen kind of cramped up my hand, and that was when I was a teenager and I had smaller hands, so I can't really imagine playing it today. Yeah, new soup. New soup, wee-hee! I honestly did not ever intend to own all the Nintendogs games, but someone was selling all 4 of them for a really good price. I'm like, you know what, screw it, because really, I just wanted this one. So when I was a kid, I had this dog named Jenkins, and he was a yellow lab, and you know, I saw the cover of this. I'm like, you know what, that kind of reminds me of Jenkins. Well, Jenkins had like a pink nose or whatever, but yeah, basically what I did in this game was I called the dog Jenkins as well. And I just thought it was so cool how you could like actually take the time to train them and take them to like, you know, events and, you know, take them on walks and stuff. I really liked Nintendogs back then. Nowadays, it's kind of mindless and boring, but like it was super, super cool back in the day. This was probably the craziest purchases I made for the DS, was getting all these Pokemon games. I literally have all of them, you know, Platinum, Black, White 2, and then of course, the big boxes for Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Now, I will say this, I never intended to get the big boxes because I know how expensive these are, but when I was at a convention, I think this was at Too Many Games, you know, I was looking around. The vendor prices, of course, are ridiculous when you go to conventions. They're like 15–20% above market value, but there was one vendor I went to. I wish I remembered their name because I give them a shout out. They were not selling anything overpriced. After spending the entire day looking for like decent deals and finding literally nothing, I finally found this one vendor. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give this guy some money because he's actually being fair. And I was like, you know what? What's something really cool I could get? It was this. It was Heart Gold version. It comes with the Pokewalker. The only thing that's missing is there's a little bit of the cardboard pieces inside that aren't in there. So I was like, you know what, screw it. This is a lot, but I'll get it because I appreciate what the vendor's doing. So then I got the Soul Silver version, and I actually saved a little bit of money on this by finding a version that didn't have the Pokewalker, because that's a lot of times why this is so expensive. That Pokewalker is really, really spendy. Yeah, I never thought I'd get big boxes for these, but you know what? I really like these games. I actually started to get back into Pokemon through Heart Gold. When these came out, I was still into my Guitar Hero and Rock Band stuff. This game, as well as Omega Ruby, was what started to get me back into Pokemon again, so shout outs to these games. Pac Pix, I've actually never really played this. I've heard it's basically just like a demo. Now, Pack and Roll, I did actually have this game as a kid. It is entirely touchscreen. You move Pac-Man around by just dragging, which sounds horrible, but the way the levels are designed, it's really not that bad. But there are better versions of the game, which we will get to. I think this is every Sonic game too. If I'm missing any on DS, just let me know. But I've played all of these except this one, All Stars Racing on the DS. I found it for like $5. All right, now we're going back to Collapse, Super Collapse 3. So this is, again, I was like really morbidly curious. I'm like, is this game actually any good? And you know what? It is. It's actually a solid version. It's not bad. I've played a lot of it. You know, Spirit Tracks and, you know, Phantom Hourglass. These are fine games. They're not super great to go back to. If you're really curious, maybe try them, but like, they're just fine. Now, my Wii games, honestly, there's not a lot. There's, you know, I have most of the basic ones, but nothing too crazy here. So, you know, we got some Donkey Kongs, we have Excite Truck, which honestly, pretty sick game. I think this was a launch game, or it was like very close to launch when the Wii came out. Really, really good. And there's also a sequel. It's called like Excite Truck Bots or Metabots or something like that. Metabots! Fortune Street, I have heard people talk about this for forever. I've never played it. Someday I'll play it, I'm sure. And you know, we've got some Kirby games, Link's crossbow training. I still love this game. I think it's a lot of fun. I think I recently got Metroid Other M. It was either this or the Prime Trilogy that I got fairly recently, but yeah, at some point I'll be playing all those Metroid games. And then we have Monopoly. Uh-oh, hold on. It's stuck to Namco Museum Mega Mix. This is actually a really, really good version of Monopoly. I highly recommend checking this out if you're looking for actually decent Wii games to collect. There you go, get that one. I've never played this, but I found it at a store and I'm like, oh cool, a different version. And then Namco Museum Mega Mix is actually pretty awesome. Probably one of the best Namco collections out there. It has a ton of the classics plus remixes, and remember Pack and Roll on the DS that I brought up earlier? Well, it has the entire game of Pack and Roll on here, but you use a joystick to move and not touch controls. And it makes the game like a bajillion times better. Pokemon Battle Revolution, I've always wanted to try this. I think this is basically Stadium 3 from what I've heard, but I don't know a lot about it. And then, okay, so I do have a hot take on Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition. A lot of people say this is like the best version just because it has the motion controls, and I gotta be honest, I don't think it's the best one. I still think playing it at 60 FPS instead of the 30 FPS is a lot more fun. The motion controls are really good. Like, it is a decent version of Resident Evil 4. I just definitely prefer the higher frame rate over being able to use, you know, the Wii remote to actually control it. This is kind of an interesting one, Shakedown Hawaii. So I got this for that 12 Days of Nintendo video years ago. I think this is technically the very last Wii game. It came out 2020, or maybe Just Dance was after this one, or it was within the same year or something. We have a bunch of Sonic games, and good lord, all of these are pretty whatever, except Sonic Colors. This game's great. The rest of these are, oof. Oh, Wario Land Shake It, I have not had for very long. I freaking love this game as well. Super, super underrated Wario game. Pretty much the rest of it, you know, just the Wii series stuff. You know, we got Wii Sports hiding in its little sleeve, and then the party games, Fit Music, all that good stuff. Not a lot for the Wii. I think I actually might have slightly more 3DS games, but also not a lot of these either. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker on the Nintendo 3DS, featuring courses from Super Mario Odyssey. Maybe I'll do a video on this channel comparing the Wii U version, the 3DS version, the Switch version, and now the Switch 2 version. I think that would be kind of funny, because now it's kind of been released on 4 different consoles. And hey, you know, I can even compare Switch 1 and 2, because Switch 2 has like the 4K, so like, why not, right? Chibi Robo Ziplash, I've actually played this last year, and it's definitely a video game. Yo, Kid Icarus Uprising, this game is so sick. Absolutely love this game. Ton of different Mario games. They honestly released a lot of Mario on the 3DS. There's quite a bit of stuff down here. The kart games, the parties. God, there's so much freaking Mario on this console. The Metroid lineup is interesting. They went with Federation Force and Samus Returns. You know, now that I think about it, like, what the hell? With Metroid on 3DS, they gave us a remake of a Game Boy game, and then whatever the hell this is. Like, these are good games, but like, what the hell what is this? I always get a kick out of, you know, seeing Minecraft on the 3DS. I played it for a video a few years ago, and it's not a very great version, but you know what? It is very interesting. It has a fun little novelty to it. Just the fact that it even runs at all is like fascinating. All these Pokemon titles, I don't think I had all of these last time I recorded one of these videos. I think there was like 1 or 2 of them I was missing. I might have been missing like Pokemon Moon or Y or something. Really cool to have all these. You know, this is probably the game that really got me back into Pokemon. Like I said earlier, I played Heart Gold, but this game I was like, oh damn, okay, hold on. Pokemon's actually kind of sick. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are always really funny to me. I don't get the point of these games. Like, I know they are a little bit better than the originals, but I played the originals and I thought they were incredibly slow and boring. Nintendo actually gave me these. I didn't even ask for them. They just gave me physicals of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. But man, Nintendo hasn't done that in ages, as in they haven't given me anything free because, you know, they don't like me, and that's fine. I don't like them either. Runbow Pocket is actually really, really fun, although honestly just played on Steam. Shovel Knight, actually a really, really good version on 3DS. But again, why not just play it on like Switch or Steam or something? The Sonic games, you know, once again, are really mixed. We got 2 Sonic Boom games, which are pretty
pretty boring. Sonic Generations is fine. Sonic Lost World on 3DS, it kind of goes from like decent and just gets worse and worse the farther in you get. Okay, this is one of the most forgettable Monkey Ball games. As much as I love Monkey Ball, there is just nothing interesting about this one. The only thing that I really remember about Monkey Ball 3D is that the party games are completely different in design, but they're just not that good. And now we have some Zeldas, A Link Between Worlds. Holy crap, I am so mad at myself for waiting over a decade to play this game, because this is one of the best Zelda games of all time. You know, Majora's Mask 3D, Ocarina of Time 3D. I have some opinions about this game that, they'll say a little dicey, but you know what? I will stand ground. I still think this is the best Zelda game that sucks to play. And then this is an absolutely incredible remake. Oh man, dude, I want to see these games get like some HD or I guess 4K versions on Switch 2. I think that would be really cool. Ultimate NES Remix. I have the NES Remix on Wii U. This has, I think, 1 and 2 on it, so that would be really cool to play. Also, this is a super, super underrated game, WarioWare Gold. I still would argue that this is the best WarioWare game. It has so many micro games. It's really great. Let's move on to the Wii U though, everyone's favorite era of Nintendo. We're really starting off great here. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, hell yeah. Game & Wario. I remember I played this for that Ranking Wario video a couple years ago. It is fine. There's a couple games on there that are fun, but most of them are just kind of forgettable or just not that great. Let's head up. We finally made it to the 3rd shelf. You can see my Wii U collection's pretty small. I really don't have much to say about these games, you know. Like a lot of them, they're on the Switch now. What's the point of even talking about them? Although this is pretty silly. Minecraft Wii U Edition. This is another game that Nintendo gave me. Played it once for stream and that was it. Yo, this game was so cool back then. Rayman Legends. I remember there was controversy with this game before it came out because it actually got delayed on the Wii U because the Wii U was bombing so bad. This was supposed to be a Wii U exclusive that Ubisoft delayed the game so they could put it on the other consoles, make it multi-plat. Because they thought the game would flop too hard on only the Wii U. Which, you know what? I think they made the right choice. Yeah, Sonic Boom, Sonic Lost World, Jesus Christ, what the f happened with Sonic on Wii U? Man, Splatoon 1, I played so much of this game in college. This is another one I played a ton in college, tons and tons of Mario Maker. I got this like 2 or 3 years ago. I finally tried it. Yeah, this game sucks. You know, I tried to mess with the controls for about 15, 20 minutes and it sucks. I don't like it at all. I will eventually play it fully and get used to the controls, but my initial impressions are the game is not fun. And that's it for the Wii U. Wow. Now, Nintendo Switch, I will be honest, I'm not gonna have really anything to say about most of these because I have them digitally. There's only a couple that I have physical only, like Everybody 1-2 Switch. I'm probably gonna play this with Carl at some point because we played 1-2 Switch when the console came out. We did a stream of it and that was really fun. So we gotta play Everybody 1-2 Switch still. Most of these games, I already have digital because I pretty much switched to digital. At this point, I was kind of over the, you know, doing physical games just because digital, it's just, I'll just be honest, it's way more convenient. Although this is another one that I got physical for. I got the big box for it, which we'll get to later, but yeah, I was like, the only reason I'm getting this is because the physical stuff is really cool. There's a lot of neat little knickknacks. And would you look at that, it's Monopoly again. Oh my God. All right, this game is hilarious. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. I got this at PAX East last year. This game, it is a re-release of a 3DO game. If you don't know who the Angry Video Game Nerd is, which is, it's kind of nuts, a lot of you probably don't because, you know, his channel's so old, but if you do know who he is, then you know why this game exists. He kind of like willed this release into existence from his AVGN episode like 10 years ago. It's like a shockingly good re-release. Like all of the pictures, the entire game has basically been recreated. There's a ton of documentary behind the scenes content on here. There's a lot in this game. I'm actually shocked how good it is. And this is almost every single Pokemon game on the Switch. I do not have Pokken Tournament DX. I actually got that one from Nintendo as well, digitally when the Switch like initially came out. But you know what? Hey, Scarlet and Violet, they're actually playable now on Switch 2. That's cool. This is still probably my favorite Pokemon game of all time, unless Legends ZA tops it. I'm actually really excited to play Legends ZA. I think people are way too harsh harsh on these games. Like, are they amazing? No. Do they have the platinum content? No. But like, for what they are, I think they're fine. Like, in some cases, I'd rather play these over the DS one just because everything loads faster. The battles are way quicker, which I know is a really weird take, but like, that's just how I feel about it. Because I had actually played the DS versions of this game the same year that this came out. I had a good semblance of remembering what the originals were like, so I don't know, I thought it was fine. Also, I like the Let's Go games. Is it kind of annoying to control them? Yes, but I love these games. I think these are super fun. I'm looking through this, I don't really think there's anything else in terms of the Switch that I've got here that isn't already digital. Oh, I think the Tycho game I don't have digital. And yeah, then we have Switch 2. I've got 3 games. I will not be buying any more physicals for the Switch 2. I'm gonna be completely honest. Physical games at this point, in this day and age, just suck the way they're doing them. I hate the game key cards. I think it's just awful. But I got these just so I could have some B-roll for footage for a couple of videos. But I will say this though, this game, Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, actually runs super, super well on Switch 2. And this is Tetris, definitely Tetris again. I don't know why the hell I bought this. This was such a waste, but I was like, I gotta get at least one Nintendo game. Now, what's really convenient about having all this stuff down here is if I ever need any of these cartridges for footage to record onto my PC, well, it's all literally like 10 feet away from me now, instead of, you know, being all the way upstairs or in a different room entirely. Now, to make things even more convenient, basically everything that I can't emulate very well, I have here. As an example, this has all of my Switch cartridges. And there we go. There is every single Switch 1 cartridge. I guess I could probably add my 3 Switch 2 games if I really wanted. I mean, I might as well, right? Then let's check out what's in here. As you can see, it's very full. Oh boy, I wonder what's in this. Let's find out. Oh my God, it is Nintendo DS games. I also have a couple of R4 cards. This one stopped working for some reason. I've only had to use these a couple of times because there was moments where I needed like to play a DS game, but I didn't have it physically, so I would just do that as a backup. And oh my God, what's behind it? It is 3DS games. Wow, look at that. It just makes a lot more sense to have all of them in this one spot compared to like actually in, you know, the boxes themselves. It just takes a lot longer to dig through the boxes compared to just having them all right here. Oh, look at that, my one Japanese 3DS game. We put it right in the middle, because why not? But what is in this one? Ooh, let's find out. Boom, baby! Finally, I can play Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival in like 3 seconds. Woo! This is where I put the Wii U games because, again, you really can't emulate these very well because, you know, of the whole gamepad thing. So, yeah, we've got every single, you know, Wii U game on here. I'm actually wondering, I have like 1 or 2 Japanese Wii U games. I don't know if I have those in here or not. I do. Yeah, there was a Tycho game I needed footage of on Wii U, so I have that. I think that's my only Japanese Wii U game. Yeah, that's it. I do have games through the other consoles, of course, not a lot. And I think last time I recorded this, I haven't added anything to my PS1 games, but it's just like really basic stuff. This is Crash Bash, if you're curious. But yeah, a couple of Crash games. I got Gex, oh boy. Cool. I actually would really like to play Spyro 1 through 3 on the original, because I played the remakes of those 3 games, and honestly, one of my favorite games of all time is the Reignited Trilogy, so it'd be really cool to try them on the originals. Then we have a bunch of stuff on PS2. Not a bunch, it's like 0.1% of the library. A handful of PSP games. Basically everything here is just stuff that I grew up with. Nothing too crazy here. We have a couple of Vita games. Also, Lumines. So it's really, I think this was the first time a Lumines game came out was on the Vita. Moving on to PS4, I don't think I have anything really that new here. Outside of a few Sonic games, I needed footage of these for the marathon video, so like Sonic Mania Origins, or that was Mania Plus. Here's Origins Plus. Mania Plus Origins Deluxe New Super Dilute. I cannot. Sega, can you please name your game slightly differently? This is getting confusing. Why the hell did I get this on PS4? So I did get this last year as a joke. Concord. I wanted to do a really stupid shitpost on Twitter, and I did it. And you know what? It was worth it. This one I also got for footage too. Sonic Superstars, I already owned it. There are also video games in here, except they're not video games. It's every single Game Boy Advance video cartridge, and actually I am looking to sell these. I pretty much only got them for that video I did earlier this year on the main channel. Yeah, it is every single one. So if anyone wants to buy them, let me know.
And then for Xbox, I don't think I've really gotten anything new here. Outside of Conquer Live and Reloaded, I did get this one a couple years ago. I've always wanted to play it, so I was like, you know what, why not? I'm sure I'll play it eventually. And then moving on to the 360, there's really not much. There are these two games I found this year, actually. I went to a random retro game store and I thought these were really cool. A Black Ops collection and then a Modern Warfare collection. These are pretty interesting. So it has, you know, like as it says, all three games. What was really funny though is that they gave me the wrong version of Black Ops 3. They gave me the Xbox One version. You might think, oh, hold on, Black Ops 3 never came out on 360. Yes, it did, and it's really, really bad. So I guess maybe it's a good thing he gave me the Xbox One version. Yeah, you know, same with Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4, Warfare 2, Warfare 3, so pretty neat little collections there. And then it's just like a lot of different Guitar Hero games. For the most part, this is all stuff I've had for a super long time. So this one I did get as a gift like a year or two ago, the Rare Replay. I actually have played a little bit of this. It is pretty cool. And then down here I have Sega stuff and weird miscellaneous stuff. Honestly, nothing that exciting, like, you know, Sonic 3D Blast. Ooh, who would want that game? Sonic and Knuckles, whoa! And then my one Sega CD game, Sonic CD. And then 3D Blast on the Sega Saturn and Sonic R? What? Who would pay for that? Who would want those? Hotel Mario. So I actually have a bit of a story about this game. I'll make it quick because I know this video is already long. But when Phoenix Resale was here, I was showing him all the games that I had, and I showed him Hotel Mario. He didn't know what it was. He sells retro games. He's never heard of Hotel Mario. I was like, okay, we're gonna play some Hotel Mario, and I tried to load it up. Game works fine, but however, it was winter when he was over here. There was a lot of static around the house. I touched my CRT and broke it from touching it because I had static somewhere in my body. All of that was thanks to Hotel Mario. Thank you very much. And then just a bunch of like random ports of 3D Blast, Sonic and Knuckles, and Mario's Tennis, my only Virtual Boy game. That is, we somehow have gone through pretty much all the games here. All right, I have taken the liberty of getting all of these extra consoles down here on the floor so we can get a nice, good close look at them. I don't think I've gotten anything recently that's new. I mean, at this point, I pretty much have like every variant of all the Nintendo consoles. So, you know, I do have, what is even in this? I'm not sure what game that is. I don't know. The NES Top Loader, the Super Famicom, SNES 2. We got the Virtual Boy. I used to just have this in the box, but now I've been displaying it recently, and then the goofy Virtual Boy controller. The disc drive, this is probably still the rarest thing that I own. These things are really hard to come by. It even came with some of the instructions, I guess, but not the actual box, but like whatever. Just having this in general is pretty nutty. Probably the second rarest thing I own is this Panasonic Q. I still don't have the controller. It will be kind of cool to get the Panasonic controller with this. I know you can mod this thing to play NTSC games, but I've not done that. And I think there's a way to use like a Game Shark or something so you can kind of like soft mod it to be able to play games in the US, but whatever. The Wii Mini. One of the most useless consoles Nintendo's ever made. I kind of love it though. And then this is just the newer Wii without the GameCube ports, the weird PS1, I guess the more updated PS1, although this one does not work. There's a weird clicking noise with the disc and it doesn't run them. No, I think the discs actually do play, but it's just really, really loud. The fat PS2. I actually used this one a lot as a teenager, but I do not use this PS2 anymore. And then way over here, we have the second Genesis. It would be kind of cool to get like the third version. I know there are 3 versions, but yeah, that is everything that's up there. I guess I'll put all this stuff back up here real quick. Wow, we did it, they're back. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and look at the stuff that's actually hooked up. The blue couch was in my retro room upstairs. We got it moved down here. In fact, I actually moved all of this stuff down here by myself except the couch. Don't ask how I did that. These shelves were crazy to take down like 2 or 3 different flights of stairs. These shelves over here, which we'll get into more, especially this brown and black one, was absolutely absurdly hard. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at what's hooked up. Basically, all of these consoles that we've got, they are all hooked up. I can power them on anytime, and they're all running through 2 different splitters. So this is the new CRT I got. The screen is a little bit bigger than what I have, not much bigger, but you know, it's big enough, and I purposefully put this TV pretty close to the couch, so we don't really have to worry about short cables or anything. We're maybe 3 to 5 feet, depending on where we're sitting on the couch. All the Genesis, the Classic, the CD, the 32X, and yes, it does all work.
I literally played Sonic 3 off of the 32X, off of the Genesis. It's dumb, but I love how stupid it looks. The PSX, this is the Japanese PS1/2. Well, I guess it plays both. I think this is technically the first PlayStation console to have actual UI. I could be wrong, I might not remember. This console is super heavy. It's really weird and funky. And the controller port is actually on the back, which is why I just have this sitting out because I don't feel like plugging it in and out. And we can check out our splitter here. So I actually have all of this labeled. So, you know, I've got 8 of these hooked up. Then on the other side, we have another one of these, and we have 5 hooked up. We have 13 of these consoles, and the Dreamcast, I got this very recently. I actually don't have any Dreamcast games, but I've always wanted to own a Dreamcast. It's basically the last retro console I ever wanted to actually own. So I was like, you know what the hell? Why not, right? And let's just look up here. You know, we got the iToy. It is actually plugged in, and the sensor bar. Now, something that I have done that is fairly new, you might notice it's a little hard to see. There are these yellow tags, and basically I am now labeling all of my power bricks so that I know what is plugged into what. Because there's been so many different scenarios where I'm, you know, unhooking up a console for whatever reason, moving it. It gets really confusing with what's what. Or let's say I'm plugging in something new and then I unplug some other cord and like, I don't know what was what. I have all this stuff labeled now. So switch to the Dreamcast, the Saturn, all that stuff, right? And even like over here, more of this stuff. And also these are all surge protected. Usually I just have a lot of these off unless I'm actually playing them, just to save power. Classic NES with the EverDrive right here. I wonder, do I have Ninja Gaiden in here? I have nothing. I was playing Ninja Gaiden with Carl a few weeks ago. We have the SNES, another EverDrive, the N64, another EverDrive. Wow. And then the GameCube. I have a bit of a weird thing going on here. You might notice these 2 memory cards as well as 2 different SD cards. So basically this, oh my God, I cannot hold anything. The reason that I have both of these memory cards, this one's not really important, but these 2 allow me to play ROM hacks on my actual GameCube. So basically what I did was I have a hacked save of Smash Bros. Melee on this memory card. So I load up Smash Bros. I go to a certain spot in the game. It basically glitches out the GameCube for a second. This SD card in here loads the hacked OS, and then this has the ROM hacks. Mostly it's Monkey Ball ROM hacks that I got on here, so if I want to play custom Monkey Ball levels on an actual GameCube, I can do that. However, if I ever decide to stop doing that because it's kind of a hassle, I also have the Flippy Drive, which is a way to basically hard mod the console. There's not many steps to do it. I just haven't gotten around to it, so there's that. And then we have the Nintendo Wii. This is also modded. The Sega Saturn. I actually recently got this because my old one broke. It stopped reading discs and I tried to fix it. I couldn't, so I was like, whatever, I'll just get this one. And then down here we have the PS1. We have the CDI. Thank God for that. And then the Xbox. I also just love how freaking big these consoles are. Look at this. These 2 take up this entire spot. And then hiding under here, it's really hard to see, but I do have the really tiny, yeah, so you can kind of see the PS2 there. The iToy is hooked up to it in case I want to play iToy games. You guys know how much I love the iToy. And then, yeah, hiding back here, we have the Analog Pocket and its dock. Yeah, dude, I love the Analog Pocket. It's a great way to play Game Boy games in high quality. Right here, we have the Xbox 360. This is also modded. For a future video, I basically need this to be modded. PS4, this is going to be for 1 game in the future. And here we go. We have our HDMI splitter. So there's not as many things to split up. I don't have this written down on here. This is the external Elgato capture card. I absolutely love this thing. It was a godsend when I was playing through the Zelda games for the Ranked Zelda video. Basically, if you want to record footage, you just push this one button in the middle, boom, you're recording. And where does it go? It goes onto this SD card. This is 1 terabyte, and when I was playing at the time, recording in 1080p, it loads up like 12 hours of footage. I can literally play the entire day. It doesn't matter. I can record all of it, and it looks really great. I've not really tested it with 4K yet, or the Switch 2 or anything, so we'll see how that goes, but it has been a godsend. Then down here, we have the PS5, or as I like to call it, my trusty YouTube machine. This thing runs YouTube really fast. And I recently got another Switch 2 dock, which I'm not gonna lie, I was really hesitant on doing because stupid things are so expensive, but I was like, you know what the hell, right? I might as well. I don't really feel like
going from my desk, unplugging all the stuff, and then putting it down here. It's just a lot more convenient. If I want to like move this dock upstairs, if I got friends over or something, we want to play in a different room, it's a lot easier to just remove this one than the one at my desk. It's a little weird having two TVs right next to each other, but I don't know, I kind of like the setup. There's been a couple of days where I'm just like playing like something on Sega Saturn. I was playing Sonic R on Sega Saturn, and I was listening to, I think I was listening to Kit and Krista or something. I was listening to some podcast, but yeah, really cool to have this. And yeah, the N64 table, I've had this thing for forever. Let's go and take a look at these shelves that I've got right next to the TV. So here I just have some of the Player's Choice combo packs. These things I didn't want to sell. I actually really like these a lot. The Adventure 2, Monkey Ball, Resident Evil, really cool. And then here, just some strategy guides, some random knickknacks, Super Game Boy, you know, whatever, cleaning kit. Then down here, just some more random knick-knacky stuff. And here I just have like more spare consoles. So I have like an extra analog pocket in here, PS3. I think this is the smaller PS4. No, this is the bigger one. I think I have the Slim underneath the TV. Yeah, this is the digital-only PS5. The only reason I have two PS5s, I did a ranked video on all the consoles, so I wanted to get both different versions for that. Then down here, a bunch of Pokemon cards. So I was given these a few years ago from a friend of mine, and I really, really like these things. It is not the entire set, and there's no rare cards in here per se. Well, it is literally all the 151 Pokemon, but it's nothing too crazy. Even the movie theater Mew. Super cool. We got some random e-card stuff. This is a fake Series 1 Charizard. So pretty funny story about this. For any of you that watched the GameStop video, when Carl was in Alaska and he was kind of like letting his ear heal, there was a mall next to him where he would get groceries and stuff, but there was also a card shop. And Carl found this card. And while he was there, he decided to just randomly get it for me. I don't know why, I guess just because he's a nice person. And you know, when we got back from GameStop and all that traveling, he gave me the card and I was like, oh cool. A few months later, I start going through all of this stuff, putting it on price charting to see what everything's worth. And I noticed this says Series Edition 1 on the card. And I'm like, oh my God, did Carl just get me like $1,000 card? Turns out, no, it's not. If you look at the back, you can definitely tell it is a reproduction or just a fake. Carl got a fake $80 Charizard card. Fun little story about that. And then down here, we just have some, let's see, legacy consoles. So we got all of the mini ones. These two have been modded. I really want to mod the PlayStation Classic, throw on all the PS1 games. I think that'd be a lot of fun. The Japanese ones, which a lot of people kind of forget exist. Then we have, oh, the Nintendo Switch. I now have my Nintendo Switch on display. That is fucking weird to say. But yeah, you got the docks, both different kinds of docks. You got the PlayStation TV, Nathaniel's Switch Lite, and then at the very bottom, oh, I guess I forgot Series X too. This is my Sonic Unleashed machine. I've played nothing else on it. But yeah, here we have a ton of bags, and all of these bags have various cables in them. So let's say I want to hook up the Switch 1, boom, Switch 1 cables. Or how about the PSVR for some reason? Well, I got all the cables for that. Yeah, there's a lot of bags of different stuff, because when you acquire all of these different consoles and all these like extra ones and stuff, you're also gonna get like a ton of extra cables on top of that. And the best way to organize it, at least for me, is to just throw them in the bags and label them as such. So now let's move on to the next shelf, and this is just a bunch of handhelds. So we got every single type of Game Boy, the IQ player or IQ controller, whatever, way in the back. Now this I got very recently, and dude, I gotta say, this is by far the nicest box I have ever seen for the IQ player. I have never seen a box in this good of condition. And then the Game Boy Light is actually one I got fairly recently as well. It's gonna be for a video in the future. And then down here we have all of the different DSs. We got the Pokemon Mini. This DS actually, I feel like half my consoles are modded. This one is also capture card modded. And there's a very specific reason for that, for a video coming out probably years from now. All the different 3DSs, except the new Nintendo 2DS XL, which I have at my desk. This also, again, has a capture board on the back. Really, we can thank this 3DS for me having a channel to begin with. This 3DS is the reason why triggered videos exist and why the channel took off, so shout outs to that 3DS. Then we have all the different PSPs, PS Go, the Street, the little pocket station thing, and then down here we have both of the Vitas. The Vitas are both also
modded, but I think I might have broken them because I was trying to record banana splits for a ranked monkey ball video. It was really, really annoying and complicated to get these things to just record the footage off of the Vita. It's a whole story. I'm not going to go into it. It's a whole thing. The Game & Watch things, the Mario Bros, Legend of Zelda, a bunch of other random knickknacks, the printer, the camera. All right, what do we got down here? We have some PAL games. So actually pretty much all of these are gifts, except this one. I did buy that one myself, but gift. The box was a gift. I already had the cartridge itself, which I've thrown in here, but this is the PAL version of Mario 64. And then down here, we have a bunch of Japanese stuff. So just some random cartridges. We got, Pokemon Green. This was for a video earlier this year. The Shindo version of Mario 64. Never been opened. Hiding back here, Mario Bros. The Lost Levels on Famicom. And we actually have a few disc drive games. I would like to eventually get all of the Mario games on disc drive, because I don't think they're too expensive, but I do have this one, Mario Artist. Then there's a bunch of other random ones. Toe Ball #1. This is Japanese only on the PlayStation 1. A lot of funny memories with that one. And that's pretty much everything there. So let's see what else we have. We got this arcade machine. I do pop on every once in a while. It's just a Miss Pac-Man / Galaga. It's got 10 different games on there, so pretty cool. Then we'll make our way over here. So there used to be a computer under here, not using the computer right now. Basically, when Carl was working for me a couple years ago, he was working at this desk. His desk was actually where my desk is right now, and I was working in my office, which we will get to in a bit. And here we have all my amiibo. I've talked about amiibo enough, but I will say this, I ended up swapping out the shelves. This shelf is too small. I had like clear cases for the amiibo, and it basically showed them off and displayed them really cleanly and nicely. This shelf is too small, so that doesn't work. But I am still keeping up with amiibo, although I have not purchased any of the Switch 2 ones. I gotta be honest, even though I have all the amiibo, like, do I really want to spend $30 to $40 for a new amiibo? I mean, that is just ridiculous. I'm still debating if I'm gonna keep up with that. And then here we have something I've never really done before, and that is getting spaces for all of my controllers, and I've got them labeled as well. So basically any controller I would actually use. I use the Speedboard all the time. You would be shocked. I love it. But yeah, we got a large variety of controllers. We got the NES, we've got the Dog Bone, some Super Nintendo, anything you can think of. Same with like N64. I actually use this stupid keyboard controller. It's kind of nice. Mini console controllers plus a bunch of Switch ones. I've got like a ton of Joy-Cons in here. Classic Google Stadia controller. Oh boy. This is the Cult of the Lamb Joy-Cons. I actually made a short about this. These are extremely rare Joy-Cons. I'm not even gonna take them out of the box. Then we've got basically just all the Sega controllers thrown in this one. We have PS3, PS4, the classic, even PS5. I have the DualSense Edge. I would not buy a controller normally that expensive, but I wanted it for a ranked video. PS1 and PS2, honestly, I have a lot of these. There's a bunch. Dude, I found this really funky controller. I forget what the brand is, but it's like a monster-themed PS2 controller. It's really, really cool looking. OG Xbox and CDI, because why wouldn't you mix those together, right? Then over here, controllers I actually like a lot. I actually swap these out pretty often when I'm like recording stuff on the computer, because all these controllers are still really, really nice. And then over here, we just have like some random stuff like, Mario. Yep, Mario Kart, live stuff, the Nintendo World NES Edition cartridge, yada, yada, yada. Oh, this is actually kind of cool. This was a My Nintendo reward, and it is a Smash Bros. Letter in real life. I never want to open it. I just think it is incredibly cool that they made that in real life. That's sick. Hey, if I ever need to call anyone, boom, I got Mario for help. This is a Hot Wheels Mario Kart Pink Gold Peach Edition. Dude, I think they were only selling this at like a Comic-Con a few years ago, and I was like, I absolutely have to get this stupid thing. I got some PS5 controllers plugged in. This is PS3. I think this is Xbox One. It's just like more consoles that I've used for videos, but I don't need to have plugged in for any reason. My Guitar Hero shrine of random garbage. Kellogg's Guitar Hero toys. The cheap LED electronics, and air guitar. I promise there is a reason for all this random Guitar Hero stuff. Yeah, that is pretty much all of my stuff in this room. Let me take you into my storage room real quick. I'm not gonna go too crazy in here. I'm not gonna show off every single thing. Basically, everything in all these tubs is controllers that I have used for videos in the past. and I've actually got them all labeled by number, so like A, B, C, and what I've done is I have a Google spreadsheet. Yes, I literally have an inventory list. That's how much crap I have. But I have gotten this new shelf recently with just more stuff. Everyone's favorite, Joy-Con 2 wheel, N64 mouse, my favorite controller, PS5 media remote, the VR2, the controllers for it, the headphones. It's junk that I might use eventually. I think I have like the Nintendo Labo VR in here somewhere. A bunch of oh, look at that, the box controller. There's Labo VR. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much that. There's nothing else too crazy going on. I do have the Switch 2 hooked up. It used to be just the Switch 1, but you know, this basically plays all Switch 1 games. There's no reason to not have it hooked up. Yeah, so I do actually have this hooked up to Ethernet. It is pretty fast. I think it's like 150 up or 150 down or something. I have gigabyte speeds at my house, so I'm actually very surprised at how solid the wired internet is on this. And then right underneath it is everyone's favorite, the Wii U. You would be surprised how much I use this stupid thing. I use it at least once a month, even like recently. When I was doing I think I was doing the Mario Kart World whining video, I needed footage of the battle mode from Mario Kart 8 on Wii U specifically. So yes, I still use the stupid thing. We have the Switch 2 camera. It's not really that interesting. It's just a camera. Okay, these are my time-stamping glasses. I have made a short in the past about why I don't like time-stamping, but why I kind of have to do it. So when I am time-stamping and I'm staring at a white Word document for several hours at a time, I throw these on. It gets rid of the blue light filter on my monitors. And the thing is like I could probably change the way the light is portrayed on my monitors if I really wanted to. I don't want the picture to look different than it's supposed to, so I'd rather just keep it how it's going to look. So yeah, I just use those occasionally, maybe like, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a month or something. Mario Kart World code. Sorry guys, I already used it. You can try it, it's not gonna work. So I still use this exact same cubby for all of my controllers. It has changed a little bit over the years. I use this controller for a lot of different things whenever I'm emulating or just playing something on Steam. Dude, it is so funny how bad my gamepad battery is now. It is literally like 5 minutes when it's not plugged in. I mean, the battery's basically cooked on this thing. Then of course we have the new 2DS XL. It is specifically for capturing footage. It has this little piece at the end. And then in here we have basically all of the Switch 1 and Switch 2 controllers. I basically have every kind, right? We got the GameCube, we have the NES. This is kind of an interesting one, the Famicom. A lot of people don't really know that this exists for the Switch specifically. Backup Switch 2, Pro Controller, what else? We got, N64, Genesis. Still get a kick out of this being a Nintendo controller. Then in here we just have some Wii controllers. I actually have just batteries just kind of sitting out. I don't want them to like slowly drain inside the remote. So there's no batteries in here. I just kind of leave these because there's a lot of times when I'm like emulating a Wii game and I need to use the Wii remote, because believe it or not, you can actually hook up a Wii remote to your computer to emulate Wii games, and I do that a lot. I think this is the Wii Classic Pro. I never use this thing. I don't even know why I have it in here. This bottom cubby needs to be cleaned out. It's got a bunch of controllers I used to use. This is a random third-party wired controller for the Switch. I haven't used that in years, but I do use the GameCube controller and the Wii U adapter. A bunch of junk. I honestly should clean that out a little bit. I've also upgraded my fridge since last time I did one of these. We got some, Fairlife shakes. Actually, when my editor was visiting, he ended up getting these. He didn't drink them all, so now I just have some. Got some Celsius. I am really trying to cut out Monsters and Red Bulls. These are slightly better variations of those. They're still not great for you, but they're better. I've kind of switched to just like not drinking out of water bottles. I mostly just drink, purified water, and that's it. So at this point, I am pretty much done showing off everything, but you might be wondering, what am I doing with the office space that I used to be in? Well, let's turn on the lights. Now you can actually see things. So this is what my office looks like now. I have kind of replaced it with storage, so I've got a few different things in here now. I haven't moved any of my posters or anything like that. I've got all my camera equipment lock and loaded over here if I need to charge anything, right next to an outlet. And I have all of the different Rock Band and Guitar Hero accessories, the DJ DJ Hero pad, the piano. There are a ton of different guitars. There's a bunch of that different stuff. And I do have a real electronic drum set as well. There's just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff over there. So this is my audio recording room. I don't think I have recorded in here in quite a few years, but basically there's like no echo in my voice now because I have completely soundproofed this entire closet. This took forever. This was literally like 3 to 4 weeks of work. Nothing has really changed outside of the fact that I now have a second Shure mic in here, and then a laptop. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, the laptop's blended in with the table. So if I need to record audio, I have the second mic in here, and that's because my desk used to be literally like what? Right over here, right? I was able to basically just drag my microphone from my computer, 20 feet away into this room, no problem. But now my computer is so far away that it doesn't really make sense for me to get an even longer XLR cord and then like hit the record button on my computer, run all the way into this room. Like, no, that's too much. In terms of like what's in these drawers, it's just like a bunch of random cables and stuff. If I need any backup cables, that's what I got in there. And then this doesn't really have much of anything. It's a bunch of like drone accessories, GoPro accessories, and then I have like just a couple snacks in there and stuff. Oh yeah, this is a Scott's poster thingy. Look at that, there's me, I'm on there. So now I'm gonna take everyone to finish this up to one more room, and that is where the retro room used to be. What's going on with it right now? All right, this is gonna blow your minds, fellas. Are you ready? Nothing! This room is where all my retro stuff used to be. There's still a couple of like random shelves and stuff in here, but I'm actually purposefully leaving this room as empty as possible. And that's because I often have a pretty hard time recording B-roll. When I was recording a lot of the B-roll over the past couple years in this room, it was fine, but I couldn't get a lot of different camera angles, or like I couldn't really compose shots very well because of how big the couch was and how little space there was to move around in this room. But now I have a ton of space. I can add furniture, I can put the camera basically anywhere I want. The only issue is the windows. I need to get blackout curtains when I start doing B-roll a little more regularly again. Having this entire room empty is great. It is super, super helpful. And there you have it. That is pretty much all I've got for you. So in conclusion, come back here 5 years from now when my brain says, let's move everything to somewhere else in the house, and then we'll do another tour.